Hey New Life family, this is Pastor Rachel with this week's Deeper Dive. And so in the Deeper Dive, we do basically what the title suggests. We take a deeper dive into the sermon from the previous Sunday. So tonight, we're taking a deeper dive into the sermon titled, Jesus Loves Those Who Look Differently Than You, where we walked through John 4 and Jesus' interaction with the Samaritan woman at the well. And so on Sunday, we talked about how that interaction was genuine and meaningful and was able to happen because both Jesus and the Samaritan woman were humble and vulnerable. They both set aside any biases or stereotypes that they had about the other to have this meaningful conversation. And so I'm reminded this evening I'm doing the deeper dive from my living room in my home. And this is a place where I feel really safe and cozy, especially on a rainy evening. And so the Samaritan woman, she wasn't only vulnerable in that she chose to set aside her differences and her biases and have this conversation. She was also vulnerable to Jesus in the fact that he knew everything about her life. He saw through to the core of who she was. He knew about her past. And so she was vulnerable in that he knew every single thing about her. And he was a safe person for her, and that he called her out in truth, but he didn't judge her. He still loved her, and she was able to be receptive to him because of that, because he was a safe person. And so I'm reminded that as we engage specifically with some of the hard topics that came up in Sunday's message, sexism, racism, ethnocentrism, hatred, bigotry, when we engage in talking about those topics with one another, we need to engage them humbly, we need to engage them vulnerably, and we need to be safe people for one another. It needs to be a place where there isn't judgment and where there is love, because we need to be able to have those conversations to grow. And the only way to have those genuine conversations is to be humble and vulnerable and to feel like you are safe. And so emulating Jesus in that way, being people that are safe, being people that are loving instead of judgmental, and being able to speak the truth and be honest, but again, not be hateful or mean or polarizing in that. That's what Jesus has called us to be to one another. This should be a safe place where we can have these conversations so that we can be more unified, so that we can weed out those ugly things that we talked about and ultimately look more like Christ. So I just wanted to take some time tonight to encourage you in that. I want to encourage you to have the conversations about the hard things, have conversations with those that look differently than you, and be curious, be open to being challenged. But in that, be a person that shows up humbly, be a person that shows up vulnerably, and be a person that is a safe person to have those conversations and interactions with. So thank you guys for tuning in for this week's deeper dive. So glad that you joined me here in my home, in my living room, and we look forward to seeing you again really, really soon. Have a great week. Love you all. Bye.